Harry, also, whilst you're away, I made a new friend. She's from Oakland, California.
Oh.
She's a lovely girl. She was very, very friendly. Do you know what I mean? Her name is, I don't know if you know her, you might. Do you know what I mean? Her name's Kehlani.
Oh, Kehlani! Good friend of mine also.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I met her in LA when I went to LA.
Hey.
Lit person.
Yeah, she's so great and she's so funny. And she's against gentrification, which is what we like. Thank you. We put our fists up this.
No, what is it about this fist that we do? Honestly, it's just like, it's all we got, man. It's all we got. It's all we got. But do you know what it is? I can imagine. I was really, really jealous. Really jealous.
No, she's the best.
Yeah.
And her engagement is crazy. All I said was, guys, look who I have in the studio. Kehlani. Everybody from all over each four corners of the world. Yeah. Legit. Oh my God, that's my babe. Oh my God, I love her. She was so good and she was so great to speak to. I'm really sad that you went there. I can't lie.
Did she say she missed me not being there?
She didn't even mention your name once.
Yeah, man.
Not even once.
Haters don't hate.
It was great talking to her, though. We spoke about her upcoming project, the fact that she is, or was in London anyway, at the time for London Fashion Week. She was looking incredible as well. And also her relationship with London. And I feel like you'll be happy to know that she said that if she would be from anywhere in London, it'll be South London.
Do you know, so magic? I remember seeing her perform for maybe like 11 minutes, if that, at Yam Carnival.
Yeah.
Like, did she mention anything about that when you spoke to her?
Do you know what? Yes, she did. You're going to have to listen to it like everybody else.
So I don't get the exclusive tea with like everyone
listen,
else.
Babe was in London for 20 minutes extra just because of me. So,
Wow.
like I said, she was here for no time at all. She came in legit just for us, which is what we love to see. Let's get into it right now. It's Henry and Kehlani. Kehlani, get out of here.
Kehlani. Wowzers.
This is Who We Be Talks. Who We Be Talks.
So, I'm so excited. I don't know, do I like cry or do I jump up and down? We've got Kehlani in the studio. How are you, my darling?
I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm very well. We've just been having such a good chat about our eyesight.
Yeah.
I've got like really bad eyes, and you're wearing some very cool glasses today, but you had the laser eye surgery thing done. Is that something that you would say would help me in this time?
I think everybody who can do it should do it.
Yeah.
Granted, they have to check your eyes and see if like you're eligible for it based on like how bad, if there's like trauma to your cornea or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But if you can do it, I would do it. I think like not being able to see is like the most annoying thing ever. I hated it.
And do you know what I was saying? That I've been getting through life like this, like just living life on the edge, and it's been working out.
I want better for you,
Oh
friend.
my God. Now you
I
make
want
me
2020 for you, friend.
Sis, now you make me want better for myself.
I want clear sight for you. That's what I want.
Thank you. Do you know when I get it done, I'll just be like, yeah, Kehlani made me do it.
Exactly. We can inspire a whole generation of fuzzy seers.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Legit, the next generation of 2020 viewers will be because of us. I love that. Thank you, darling. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm tired. I think that all the fashionista activities have officially beat my ass. But like, we're good. We're here. We made it. I'm alive. I got my glasses on that help me. You know what? These glasses actually have a purpose.
Okay, go on.
They block out blue light.
Okay.
So for someone that looks at screens a lot, these are actually really helpful.
That is me. I've got glasses and they don't actually do that.
See, you need to...
I know. I'm just showing all the things that are wrong with mine.
Yeah, I'm like, we need to get your eye health together.
All right, so yeah, you're here for London Fashion Week. How has it been?
It's been so fun. I think the shows have been incredible. It's been super like refreshing and surprising to see who knows me in that world, I would say. What? Because I've always been super separate from that world. Not like on purpose, just I've been in music for so long and music is its own thing. I'm not ever surprised if I go out and like other musicians know who I am, but to like step into fashion space and people in that world are like, yo, I'm so happy you came to my show. And I'm like, what? Little old me, that's tight. So it's been super cool.
You're so humble. It's so sweet to see because everybody knows who you are, darling. Legit, every soul in the UK knows who you are.
Scary.
When you turn up, what was like some of the best like outfits that you'd seen that you're like, oh, you know what, I might take maybe that idea back with me?
Oh my goodness, man. Osman the show I went to yesterday, he had a whole like sustainable, biodegradable collection that was really incredible to me because I mean that's important as hell. And everything was like super like worldly, and he took a lot from his culture. So I really liked that show a lot. So I would definitely wear a lot of his stuff.
Oh, I love that. I love stuff that you cut, like it's like from like renewable sources as well.
Yeah,
like
it's
upcycling,
important.
100%. Me, I'm a big upcycler because if anybody doesn't know, I used to wear my mum's clothes all the time, all as in from like the 90s. I used to bring it back into fashion.
That's a flex.
100%.
That is a flex.
No more thrifting. It's literally in my mum's closet. Thank you very much. And yeah, you're in London right now. Who have you been like hanging around with? Who have you been around?
Oh my goodness, I have a lovely little gang out here.
Let us in. Let us know who it is.
Just my homegirls, man. T, Jojo, Taylor, Jordan. He's not a homegirl. He is a guy. But every time I've come here, I have just slowly connected with this, group of people. And one of them is actually from here, but like we got close in LA and then he moved back and, things like that. But it's just like a crazy little funny, hilarious group of people that really love each other. And it's almost like even more love than some of the love I experienced back at home. So it's like, it's really awesome.
Oh, bless
I would
you.
move here specifically for my friends.
Bless you. Do you think that you can like make a life here?
I could. I think I could. I mean, my daughter would probably have a funny time deciphering the accents because she's only 2 and she's only heard like us talk like us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally could. It'd be fun.
Do you know what area you'd live in?
Ooh-wee.
Put you
No
on the spot,
idea.
but like, have you seen any nice areas that's like, do you know what? I could live around this area.
Don't hate me for saying it, but everything looks the same to me.
Okay, now I'm upset.
Everything looks the same. I don't know. I'm like, you know where I'm at? I'm in London. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what the difference is.
Yeah.
I know certain parts that look like they might be newer and certain parts that look like the architecture's from like a really fucking long time ago.
Yeah, fez.
Like, I know when I'm in like a downtown versus like, like a little town. All of it's cute to me though. It's cute as shit.
We're gonna have to educate you a little bit because if you say that anywhere outside of this room, you might get in trouble. We're very, very territorial about the north, south, east, and west. It's very serious with us.
I mean, a lot of the homies are from South London, so like,
spud
shout
me,
out to
because-
y'all.
darling, okay, spud me. What do you guys call that?
Daps.
A
You
dap.
gotta give it a dap.
That's
Yeah.
that's spud. Yeah, because I'm from South London.
Okay.
To the flipping core.
There we go.
As in, it hurts. It hurts. But legit, every single time you say to somebody, oh my gosh, the whole of London looks alike, they'll be like looking you up and down like, sis.
I mean, when I tell people I'm from Oakland, California, they're like by LA. That's a 5-hour, 6-hour drive away.
Yeah.
It's literally the opposite sides of California. So we're all like, I can't get mad because you might come to California and really do think it all looks the same just because it's sunny everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's just we're from 2 completely different places in the planet. So I wouldn't be surprised if you came to California and said the same thing.
Yeah, but I'm going to make sure that if I do come over, I'm going to make sure I'm going to learn what each part is.
There we
100%.
go.
100%. Because you have
There
to.
we
Do you know what I
go.
mean?
You'll be so far from everywhere else. Also, people here tend to think that things that are technically far are really like they're really close.
Yeah.
Y'all are like, man, that's a long drive. I'm like, how long is it? 25 minutes. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Welcome to London, darling.
What? A long drive in LA is like I might be prepared to drive an hour and a half. Like,
Oh my gosh. Legit, like on the last episode, we were just talking about a relationship that where if somebody is legit an hour away,
that's long distance.
it's a long distance relationship, baby.
Oh my goodness.
100%.
I had that conversation with my little brother. He thinks the same thing and I think it's hilarious. He's like, sis, I just couldn't do it with my girlfriend no more. She lived too far. I can't do this long distance thing. I'm like, she's literally an hour away from you.
Yeah, that is me. I'll be like, oh my gosh, the signal's out. I think it's like where you are. Oh my gosh, it's cutting out.
And you're right there. You're down the street.
Up the road, 100%. How about your favourite spots in London? Is there anywhere that you've been to that you're like, oh yeah, I'm definitely coming back?
I like Shoreditch.
Hey.
Man. My friends take me out to Soho every time I come here.
Okay.
So they have me in the middle of crazy ass Soho, drunk.
It's nice.
It's chaotic over there, yo. It's so
Very.
many people. I love it though. It's life. I've at this point made friends with the staff at the Soho House.
Fairs.
Like every time I walk in there, I'm like, "Hey, friends!" I'm like, "Girl, you back?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Shoreditch is a really nice area, to be fair, but that's where everyone like goes to like full on party. See that now? East London, all right?
Okay.
So when you come back, you're like, all right, cool. Shoreditch is
Understood.
East London. There you go.
I'm gonna tell you where I got invited to. All the homies was like, absolutely not. I got invited to somewhere called Brixton.
Oh my gosh.
I got invited to a party in Brixton, and all the homies was like, Kehlani, shut the hell up. I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, why can't I go? They was like, you just can't go. I'm like, what do that mean? What's the problem?
So Brixton is South London.
Is it turned up?
It's the hood, baby.
I'm like, take me there. That sounds fun to me. I'll be good everywhere I go.
Like, it's the hood, yeah, but it's like gentrified, so everybody can like go out there now. Just
okay,
before.
see, what's the problem?
Yeah, exactly. But if you want to go,
I got invited to some crazy party in Brixton with a crazy flyer that was like, it's a giant warehouse with like multiple rooms and multiple different DJs. I was like, this looked fun.
You should have come.
You know, one day.
Listen, I would have been your security.
I'll come in a black hoodie with some black Air Forces.
Oh my gosh, not the black Air Forces, sis.
Ready to go.
Everyone knows you're about it from time you walk in the party. Absolutely.
Y'all wear black Air Forces out here faithfully. I seen a bunch of fashionistas with black Air Forces on at Fashion Week. I was like, I see what y'all here to do. Okay, let me find out you're all gangsta.
Yeah, absolutely.
At these fashion shows.
Absolutely. And I've seen some real gangsters as well with them on as well. Do you know what I mean? Fashionista or gangster, they get away with it same way. And of course, you've collaborated with so many like UK artists as well, which is what we love about you. From Western to Krypton Conan to Stormzy. What is it about that you love about like the UK music scene?
Man, I love that it's such a heavy emphasis on lyricism and it's such a heavy emphasis on like the quality of music. I mean, y'all still have rap battles.
Yep.
Like we haven't had that element in hip hop. Like it only happens when like some actual drama happens between rappers and like they know that the best way to go about it is to not get on the blog and talk about it, but to make, you know, a couple of songs about it. We might get a real random diss record once or twice every so often.
And even then people like have to like full on decipher like, what was he talking about, my guy? Or
and it's never about the music. It's never about like who's a better rapper, which is what y'all tend to battle about here, like physically who is a better rapper. It tends to be about like, oh, we got real petty things to talk about and that's all we're gonna talk about. So I just appreciate like the hip-hop culture. I appreciate the R&B out here too. Everybody's so sweet, like everybody's voice is so unique. Like I don't know, I just love it.
I love that. And so are there any like R&B artists or artists in general over here that you're feeling as well?
I like Mahalia a lot.
She's a babe.
Is it Mahalia or
Mahalia?
Mahalia. Okay, I said it right. Look at me. Georgia, of course.
Yeah.
Green Tea Pang is cool as shit.
You know.
Yeah, you know, I be listening.
I love that.
But man, there's a bunch. I can't even like list it.
But you know what's so cool with Mahalia? She came on a good couple of weeks ago, actually. And she's my friend as well. I love her to bits. Like, she's so
great. Her album was so good.
Her voice, her everything is incredible. Like, she's just a great human being as well. Like, to be around such a lovely person. And she talks about something really interesting. She was like, basically over here, when it comes to like the launch of albums and all the rest of that as well, that men get all the push.
Yeah.
But women, unfortunately, get like just pushed to the side.
Yeah.
Nobody really like gathers together for them to go number one. It happens here all the time.
It happens with us too. I think just in general, like when it comes to female R&B artists, and I hate those groupings of words together. I think that men think that there's girl music.
Yeah.
I think there's a real thing that's like, that is girl music. I can't listen to it with the homies. I can't put this on my Instagram. People can't know I listen to this. I watch men come to my shows and watch to see who's watching them sing the words.
No way.
Or I did it on stage the other day where I was like, oh, all the boyfriends in the crowd who are really trying hard to look like you're not enjoying this. And then halfway through you start moving your shoulder and tapping your foot and like, you know, you're having a good time.
Yeah.
But I think women don't do that. Like we listen to everything and like men listen to certain things in private because it's like threatening to their masculinity to listen to a woman sing about romance. Absolutely. So I think that trickles into how people support it. Cause I literally watch people go like, I can't take that seriously, but you'll sit and you will listen to a guy say the same thing in every bar, not sounding any different than anybody else, not doing anything different than anybody else.
Yeah.
And it's like, let's rally together to make this number one.
I find that so insane. And do you know what? It's so funny. Like, the ignorance of all of us as well, as consumers, is crazy. Because it's not until like she actually like sat there and was like, Henry, no, this and this and this, that I was like, raw shit. That does happen.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Everybody will rally for like rappers and their favorite to go number one, and they will get the number one as well. But with women, never ever. I've never seen it happen once.
It's deep misogyny.
It's deep, bro, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I love the fact that you guys are bringing it to light as well. I'm not even afraid to like talk about it, because I feel like even back in the day, nobody was really everyone was just suffering in silence, really.
Yeah. I mean, completely. I think just we're still very, very far from where we need to be.
Of course.
But people are just more outspoken about just the levels of how things are going kind of south in certain areas in the industry in general, all across the board. I just think with social media and like us being able to have our own platforms and have our own fans and cut out the middleman of like having to be mysterious with our fan bases, like we just have a lot more courage as a generation, to be honest, because we're supported by people that we've made direct contact with, you know?
Absolutely.
So,
And that there's like power in that as well, where you get to speak
love
to your
it.
fans directly. Like,
I be like, I don't give a fuck about the rest of the world right now. I'm talking to y'all. I'm talking to y'all. That's all I care about, you know? So
I love that. And speaking to your fans directly, you was at Yam Carnival.
oh shoot, I knew it was coming. Here we go.
I didn't go, unfortunately, but there were some people in the room that did go, and I was like, oh my gosh, how was it? Was it good? Did you see anyone nice? Everyone did love your performance, but obviously you did say that you're gonna have to come back and do something else for us, because it just wasn't the best experience. Was it a technical issue? Or?
It was a technical issue. I don't know what was going on. My team showed up super prepared. I have a full team who at this point has done shows and festivals like it's nothing. If you called us tomorrow and be like, pull up, we'd have the set already done. That's how together we are as a team. We just got there and we were all side stage ready to take our places to go. And I was just watching the sound people just freak out, like losing it. But overall, I think we also have a completely different setup than a lot of people do. I have a full band. I bring my own equipment that's already programmed, like ready to just plug it in. Like, I think it was honestly just like a weird, random technical issue, but it also could have been just all over technical issue, because I think other artists experienced technical issues that day also. I think Beanie Man talked about having like a problem like with the sound, and I don't know. Overall, I think I was really excited to be there.
Yeah, of
and
course. People are excited to see you.
I would have felt really lame if I didn't come on stage and say anything and I just let it happen and then I just left, and it would have just looked like, damn, Kehlani's an asshole, because we saw her standing there and she couldn't even come say like, hi, she's happy to be here. So I just wanted to walk on stage and just like apologize and let people know like I was ready to go. I was ready to get it done. I wanted to have fun with everybody just as much as they wanted to have fun watching me, and that they deserve their money back, and that we should get a new show. Because
oh my gosh, you're mad truthful. I love that about you, because you don't even mince your words at all. Is that something like that you want to do, like be as personable to people that take you in as much as possible?
I mean, when you think about it, right? Like, I would not have a career if it wasn't for the people that listen to me.
Absolutely.
Like, I think when we separate ourselves from fans as artists, it just doesn't make any sense. If we just want to be artists, we could just go sing to a wall all day. Like, that art, that ability, that gift, that art was given to us by God, yes. Like, but we could just do that, and if nobody ever supported us, it wouldn't matter. The people that listen to us and pay for the shows and buy the albums and tell other people to stream it and buy the merch, that's the whole entire reason we have a career. So at what point do we feel like it's okay to stray away from that? When it's like, y'all, I wouldn't have got booked if y'all didn't see that I could sell tickets. And the reason I can sell tickets is because people buy the tickets. So automatically it always goes back to the fans. So that's my only objective. Like, make sure y'all good and I'll always be good. So
That's incredible. There's not a lot of people that do think like that. I'm not going to lie. So
I just don't know how, because to me it's like very logical. It's like super logical. Like, they're literally the sole reason. So
Oh, I love that. And so for you, when you're on stage, what's like the number one thing? Of course, you had like sound technicalities where we don't even know where that came from. But that aside, just when you're doing a show, what would be like the most like annoying thing that would happen that would be like, you know what, guys, this is just not it right now?
I mean, I think anything is thug throughable. That is a word you should.
Thug throughable?
Thug throughable.
Thug throughable. Hello.
You can thug through anything.
Come on.
I performed in rain. I've performed when it started hailing. I performed when my mic pack has flown across the stage. The DJ equipment fell over.
What? So
I've fallen. I've ripped my pants.
What? Talk to me about the hail, because hail hurts, darling.
It does, but it's like the audience is also standing there getting hailed on.
True. True.
So, like, we're all in this bitch together at this point. Like, we might as well. Like, granted, y'all might be on a lot of drugs, because if we had a festival, like, y'all probably high and, like, blah, blah, blah. But, like, you know, who am I to be like, I can't do this shit?
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know. I feel like if you can make a personal moment out of it, I also don't give a show that's very, like, it's so intensely strategic that like every moment is choreographed, and like if something messes up it like fucks everything up.
Yeah.
I be making jokes on stage.
Yeah.
I talk to the audience and be like, and we'll fully have a full conversation with somebody. I'll say fuck the choreography I'm supposed to be doing right now and sit on the edge of the stage and talk to people and sing and laugh, and I don't know. So really, I'll just make a joke. I'll be like, yo, I dead ass ripped my pants. I'm finna go change it. I'm gonna have somebody come tell dad jokes until I get back. You know what I'm saying? But anything is possible. So
I love that. Okay, so thug throughable.
Thug throughable.
Just imagine it in the Oxford Dictionary. What
Thug
would be?
throughable.
It's an adjective, I believe. Thug throughable.
It is the ability to be thugged through.
Incredible.
There we go.
Thank you so much, Kehlani.
Who We Be Talks.
Ao longo da vida, você precisa tomar muitas decisões. Como mulher, as coisas podem parecer um pouco mais complexas, mas eu escolho simplificar. Pra mim, pilotar fogão não tem problema. Desde que eu vá no comando, tudo certo. Minha vida, minhas escolhas. E eu escolhi o Chevrolet Tracker. Por quê? Porque é o que eu quero. Restart ideias. Restart com Chevrolet Tracker.
Who We Be Talks.
All right, so whilst you were at Yam Carnival, you did say that we can maybe expect another show from you. Is that something that you're putting in the works at the moment?
I mean, that's my goal. That's what I want to do. I mean, automatically, whatever Europe tour I do for, you know, my next project, I'll be here no matter what. But the goal was for me to come back and do a show to make up for that. Just waiting for word on if there's a venue that wants to do it, if there's some way to put it together to where it makes sense. You know, everything's pretty much above me. I just do the part where I show up and sing.
Yeah.
All the other business stuff goes through a lot of other people and a lot of other sources. So if the higher ups want to handle that, then I'll just show up and sing.
Well, we're putting it out there that the higher ups, please, if you're listening.
Yeah, I would love to come do a show. That's my favorite thing in the world.
Oh, I love that. And we were talking about Oakland before. How do you reckon the UK, or London specifically, actually is different or similar in some ways to Oakland?
Similar in the fact that there's such a deep-rooted culture. No matter what's going on with like gentrification and people coming in and out of the city for, you know, work and business related, there's still such a deep-rooted culture of people that love being from here. And I think that that's a big deal, because in Oakland, that's a huge deal. Like, no matter where you go in the world, no matter who comes to the city, like, if you're from there, you're obsessed with it. There's also a lot of, like, really cool, like, youth in the art spaces, whether it's, like, fashion or music or clothing design. I don't know, like even the tiny t-shirt brands people are super passionate about, like visual art, like musicians, producers, like and everybody holds each other down here, I've noticed. I think I've come and seen people been like, oh, I gotta link you with this person and this person and this person, you gotta meet them, and then we'll all go out together and we'll do this. And I just love that togetherness that you don't get often in a lot of places, because people really focus on like being so exclusive and things like that. And obviously I'm not here enough to know if that's really what it is, but I have yet to experience like people being super standoffish from each other. Every time I go out, everybody's down to see each other, and I like it. So
Do you reckon that's why you love this place so much? Because it reminds you in that respect, like of home, where everyone like likes each other, basically.
I think so, personally. I mean, there's cliques wherever you go, but I've been living in Los Angeles like a really long time, and I don't want to take away from Los Angeles, but more so the music industry. I've been in the music industry a long time, and the unwillingness to be friendly or like merge groups of people because we're like-minded is just so odd to me. So it's refreshing to come here and see that people all be down to hang out.
I think that most people are, but like you said, there are cliques everywhere you go. So.
Everyone, like no, like obviously it's like not the complete consensus of London because I'm not here to see it. But
of course, I don't know about you, but gentrification pisses me off so much.
I mean, everyone, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Except the gentrifiers.
Except obviously they're having the best time.
They're
with
having
their
a
good
blast.
transport. Like what?
Yeah.
So there's a place in South London called Peckham. If you like, go. If you like, don't go. Do you know what I mean? You're gonna get mixed reviews about the place. But there's a place called Peckham High Street within Peckham Rye, right? And before it was like the market, so everybody, your normal person, would go there, buy their yam, buy their fish, buy their plantain, buy everything, and get on a bus and just shoot off, right? They've turned the whole place into a cycle lane. Whose mum is getting on a bicycle to go get their fish and their yam?
Wow.
I know, pisses me off.
Yeah, there's a street. Well, I mean, there's plenty of streets now that are gentrified because it's the Bay Area and it's the crazy tech, like, influx. But there's just a street that has, like, a skate park, and it had all these cute mom and pop shops, and there was a bait shop for, like, fishing that my grandpa used to take me to. They knocked it over and put a Sprouts. I don't know if you know what Sprouts is.
No, what is it?
It's like Whole Foods' cousin.
No.
Yeah, it's like another Whole Foods. It's like, I'm like, never in my 1,000 years of life did I think there would be a fucking Sprouts.
Not a Sprout.
Right here. I mean, and then you go through that weird, like, process of, like, should I be happy that there's a Sprouts?
Right.
Because, like, now people can have access to, like, that type of food. But then I'm like, they can't even afford the Sprouts that you put right here. And you probably knocked over somebody's grandma's house to put this Sprouts up. So, like, fuck y'all, for real.
Thank you. We should just like talk to our governments.
Yeah, just us.
Just us, really. You talk to
Just
mine, I'll
march
talk
up.
to yours. Really,
Yeah, I'll be
because-
like, look, I don't really know the difference between none of these areas that they're talking about, but fuck this shit.
Thank you. Very upset. It gets me proper upset. So every single time someone brings up gentrification, I'm like, yeah, this is my in to talk about this. Because who's our Prime Minister right now? Boris fucking Johnson. If you're listening.
Boris fucking Johnson.
Right, thank you.
Second that.
Yeah. All right, thank you. Thank you for being on my
I'm gonna
side.
get banished.
I know, you're not.
I'm just
I'll
kidding.
make sure
I'm
you
just
get
kidding.
it.
Fuck the government.
All right, so what's like it like growing up in Oakland? Tell us.
It's super diverse, honestly. Like, it's super diverse, and it's just such a super emphasis on, like, communal support. Like, everything is very community-based. The flea markets, the summer programs, the after-school programs, even, like, there's a chance you might know somebody that's from across the entire town, and y'all might have gone to one of the same programs at some point, just because... You know, we're all in that space. Also, there's a lot of different categories of an Oakland person,
Okay.
which I love.
Talk us through 'em.
Well, we have like quirky hipster Oakland. I'm like somewhere in between quirky hipster Oakland and like little skater kid Oakland, which is low key the same thing. Then we have like super gangsta Oakland. Then we have like rapper Oakland. Like then we have like artsy, like I might be showing in an art gallery, like there's all of that, and we might all be at the same parties together, fully being able to dance to the same music and enjoy the same space. So
I love that. Maybe it is exactly the same as London, because I
It
think we
seems
have
pretty
our own
similar.
as well. I think we do have like the super gangster, but if it's like super gangster, you don't want to be there. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know, y'all be having knives out here. I don't like
Listen.
that. I don't like that. Let's change the subject.
Yeah, 100%. So obviously you've got the super gangster, which
Yeah.
you're just going to keep over there for a while.
Over
But then
there.
we have like the fashionistas as well that you actually might
I
see.
do got fashionistas.
Yeah,
I
walking
love
up and
it.
down Shoreditch as well.
Yeah.
Like they be living their lives. I don't know what I would be. Maybe like the kind of girl next door London. I don't know, does that exist?
You seem like that. That's cute.
Thank you so much. I think there are some of us that exist like that, and then you
Girl
have
next
the
door.
Girl
You're on a
Next Door.
podcast.
Thank you.
Like,
We just live our lives.
it's really niche. It's
Thank
really
you.
cute. She's a cute, sweet girl.
I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's called Who Be Talk. Might or might not be on Spotify.
You might have some good restaurants to show me.
There we go.
Good recommendations.
Oh, 100%,
You know, I
yeah.
trust you if you tell me the food is good somewhere.
That
you
it
know?
would actually be good with, right? 100%. Thank you. Hey, I've
I
made
see
my
the
own niche,
vibes.
guys. Thank you so much, Kehlani. Hey, love that. All right. And so we see you dressed so nicely today. You have come in a, what's that jacket over there? Show us. Come on. Avirex USA. Is that new? Is it vintage?
Honestly, shout out to JoJo Vandal Kid, the goatist. If anybody needs an incredible stylist and visionary out here, JoJo is the one. Okay, she has become kind of like my London day to day. Like, she's like, oh, this just came out. This is cool as
Get
shit.
this.
You should have this. These shoes just dropped. They haven't dropped there yet. They dropped here. You should have these. They cool as shit. And she's just also one of the best people I ever met in my whole life. So she dropped me that jacket off and was like, you should have it. And I'm like, this is my favorite color. And you didn't even know. So
I love that. So what's Kehlani's go-to style then on a day-to-day?
I'm so comfortable.
I love that. So,
I am cozy. And I
Yo.
love sneakers. So like anything with a cool ass shoe and like some cool pants. I'm a big pants guy. I really like ridiculous pants, and like I could put on a white tee, but like have ridiculous pants and like a really
what does
cool
ridiculous
sneaker.
mean though? How ridiculous are we talking?
These are very normal pants to me. These are very, very basic pants.
They are normal.
But I really like patchwork.
Okay.
I really like. There's a brand called Capital that I like a lot. They make really, really great pants. I don't know. I like them big, so I can wiggle. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be able to do this. I gotta be able to do this in public.
Yeah. I
So-
love that. That's like the test to see.
Yo, it's the fact that my friends have now pointed out that when I can't accept a compliment and I feel awkward, that I do that. And now I notice it, and now I hate it because I'll catch myself in the middle of it and be like, oh, this is actually so bad. Like somebody will tell me something and I'm like, thanks. And then like they'll keep going and I'm like, woo.
I love that. All right. So do you know what my go-to is? Mine is meow.
I've been there.
Because I've got a cat and it legit every single time I talk to him, he's like, meow. So every time someone
Not
talks
you
to me,
adopted it.
I
Adopted the awkward mannerisms of the
That's-
cat.
mother and son, 100%.
I
When you
feel you.
see him,
I feel you.
you see me. When you see me, you see him, 100%. So every single time someone talks to me, I'm like, meow. I've literally done it like 10 times before you came in the building.
You know what? Maybe I'm gonna leave and take that with me.
Oh my gosh.
Because I want to get out of this.
So just be like, meow, meow, meow. Cute, thank you, meow. Now, getting into the music, you have got a new track out at the moment. Talk to us about it. What vibe were you going for? Because it's the sound in itself is different to the project that you just put out before last year. So, what kind of vibe are we going for with this one?
Well, my goal was to get out of my comfort zone, and I think that I have. I feel like each project has been slightly different from the last, but nothing has been as different as I would say this project that I'm going to drop is different from the last one. But I also I make music to exactly where I'm at in life.
Which I love.
Thank you. It's extremely timeline, but it's not on purpose. It's just that's how I make music. That's how I've always been with art. Like, I don't go into the studio every day and force myself to make something for no reason. I'm like, oh, this is what I'm experiencing. I need to go record. And obviously I go through a lot of life changes, so that's why I've been able to put out so much music. But I don't know. I wanted to sonically experiment. I wanted to experiment with people that I was working with. I wanted to experiment with talking about different things. Usually I write a lot of like love songs. This song isn't about a romantic relationship at all, which was funny because I kept getting like music blogs like tweeting me like, Kehlani drops a new single about her lover, some. And I was like, shit, you didn't listen to the song, did ya? But it's cool. Art is subjective, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was different. It's fun.
So with Altar, it's giving me like a 80s kind of vibe
Yeah.
in comparison to It Was Good Until It Wasn't. What kind of made you want to go with that? Even though I know you're experimenting, why that sound in particular?
Man, my album is executive produced by Pop Wanzel. He's incredible. He did a lot of stuff on my first album. He did Distraction. He did like some of my, I would say like fan favorites. And we were just like, we've done so much together. Like it was an experiment for both of us. For him to play something that was like, I normally wouldn't play this for you. And for me to be like, yeah, play me something you normally wouldn't play for me. And I just loved it. And I was like, this is exactly mentally where I'm at with it. I had lost a lot of people in the last 2 years, just a lot of really young deaths, like a lot of friends to just like really random deaths that I couldn't wrap my mind around. I started a really incredible spiritual journey in which a lot of it is depending on, you know, the how much you care and taking care of people who passed away after the fact. So once kind of like I learned and developed this completely new relationship with like grief and loss and essentially dead people. I was able to write about it in this way of just like joy and care and understanding that you can have an entirely new relationship with people, and sometimes an even closer and deeper relationship with people when they've passed on, depending on how much, you know, care you put into the relationship.
And would you say it's like a different relationship with grieving in itself as well?
Yeah, completely. I mean, I don't feel the same way about death that I felt before. Like, you know, it felt so permanent and it felt so heavy and it always felt dark. But now, there's many different stages of it as well. And it also depends on how people pass. Because I think that you deal with grieving and you deal with the pain of how people pass and you deal with the pain of the actual passing. And those can be two completely different processes. I can be completely so mad and upset that I lost a friend to drugs and just be upset at that, because like that goes into being upset at the government and being upset about capitalism and society and like drugs in the streets and how fucking ridiculous that is, and the war on drugs and the legalization, all these things, right? And then I can be like, damn, I lost my friend. So those are two completely different processes. But what I'm working through now and what I'm experiencing and able to work with is really just how to deal with after they're gone and after I've settled into being past the, you know, being mad at how they passed, and just like, let me help elevate you now. Let me help make sure that maybe your friends and family also get the chance to build this relationship with you, because they may not know that there's all these routes and ways that they could still ensure that the connection is flourishing and et cetera, et cetera.
So for you, when you're like writing, do you have to like kind of come to that realization like at the end and it's like, oh, all right, cool, let me write? Or are you kind of like still going through it and you're writing as you go along?
I'm a very timelined writer as well. Like I'll literally write the song from beginning to end. So I've started to freestyle recently, like, you know, play with little things and then like collage it and put things in different places. But usually the song it starts making sense to me as it comes to the end. Like I'm like, okay, because I'm really just writing what I feel, and like you feel more things. It's like songwriting to me feels like there's a long hallway and there's all these doors, right? You get through the first door and then it opens the second door and it opens the third door and it opens the fourth door. Like as I'm writing, I'm like, okay, it's coming together. Like that detail matches the detail in the first verse, and that detail makes what I said in the pre-hook make sense, and then I'm gonna bring it all back together in the third verse. And yes, as calculated as that sounds. It's really not, because it doesn't really even start making that it doesn't make that like point to me until I'm at the end. So
I love that. So that makes me want to like just see how your brain works. Do you know what I mean? Because if it only makes sense at the end, I'm like, oh, then how did she do it this whole time? Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely incredible. And of course, you've got a project to come called Blue Water Road. What can we then expect from it? Is it going to be songs like Altar? Are we going to be hearing like loads of different stuff?
There's a bunch of different stuff. What I will say is what makes it so different from my last album is there was a lot of darkness on my last album. And not even just darkness, and I hate to say low vibrational because that's so corny to me, but like low vibrational, whether it was like talking about love in a low vibrational way, whether it was talking about relationships in a low vibrational way, makeup to break up, makeup sex songs, and you got too drunk and we was wildin' songs, and this is so toxic songs, and the sex is great but everything else sucks. Like there was a lot of just like, even when making lighter songs, it was still always in this light of like, but it was just true to my life at the time. It was true to the situation I was in. It was true to the story. Like every single song I wrote came from a very legitimate perspective of what was going on exactly at the time. This time around, I've made an album while being around a bunch of really positive people, while being in a really positive space, while experiencing a lot of self-love and a lot of self-growth that just like took all of my perspectives on everything in life in a whole new way. So there's nothing like dark on this album. Everything is like really fun. It's either like really beautiful or it's like really fun and like funky and like you can dance to it. Like I have like maybe one like vibey, like one little vibey song, and it's a jam and I love it, but everything else is just, I never want to make two projects that sound the same.
I head out.
And it's cool that people are like, nah, I really hope that she gives us what she gave on the last one because I really love that one. I'm like, well, you can always go press play on that one.
Yep.
Because it's still there.
On every streaming platform.
But what I would hate to do as an artist...
Especially Spotify.
Exactly. Boom, there we go. Stream me on there. What I would hate to look back at as an artist is realize that I let the public perception control my creative process because I wanted to make sure that I maintained whatever, they had given me. When it's like, the whole point of this is for me to impress myself and to say that I had fun with it and to one day look back and be like, oh, remember when I made that album that I was so happy to make because it was crazy to me and the song was so cool to me and it was just like, it sounded like stuff I listened to but never thought I could make, like, so that's where I'm at with this project, is this accumulation of like stuff that I've always wanted to make something like this, or I've always wanted to write about this, or I've always wanted to work with these people. So
explain to us the title then, Blue Water Road. What does it mean?
So it has a really surface level meaning and then a deep one.
Let's go for both.
So the surface level meaning is we started this album as the deluxe of It Was Good Until It Wasn't. And we rented a studio. We rented a house in Malibu and did a writing camp with a bunch of producers and all my songwriter homies and just like had a fucking blast. And that house was on a street called Blue Water Road.
Mad thing.
I left and I had started my spiritual journey intensely and I came back. And I just realized that all the music just sounded completely not like it belonged to a deluxe of the last album. It sounded like it was the beginning of a whole new project. So as we're making it, my friend's like, yeah, this is one of those like alternative ominous ass names. Like you might as well just like name it a street. And I was like, I'm like, fuck it, Blue Water Road. And we kept making it a joke.
Yeah.
And then like 3 weeks in, I'm like, this shit is really Blue Water Road. Like...
What were their reactions?
They were like, you're right, bro. But also, the deeper meaning is that Blue Water Road has become like almost like a sanctuary or like a safe place that exists like internally for me. And when I think of what the metaphorical Blue Water Road looks like, it's like a glass house. So when I think of a glass house, I think of multiple things, right? I think of transparency. I think of there being no curtains or walls, so there just being pure light that comes in. And this is also my first album since identifying publicly as solely into women. And it's the first time I'll be speaking from that perspective throughout an entire project. So I'm just being transparent and I'm just being really light. And I think even that change alone in my personal life and in my sexuality led to me being a lighter and more free and more comfortable person in general, which automatically made the album sound the way it does. So, that's it. That's Blue Water Road.
And I love that for you as well. It's
Thank
incredible.
you.
And do you know what I like with Blue Water Road as well? Like, especially if you didn't like say what it meant, it means that all the consumers, anyone listening to it,
they can have their own.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I was thinking was like, right, Blue Water Road, I can just imagine an actual like road, or maybe not a road, you know what I mean, where cars will go across, but like a pathway that's just full of like you said, clear water. So like you're walking into something new. Do you know what I mean?
It's
Like
a
all the
journey.
muddy stuff is like behind you.
Exactly.
But the Blue Water Road is this new journey with the new road, clear waters, You like where I'm going with this?
And that also fits in. That literally, I could have said that and it would have been the same as what I meant of the definition that I just gave.
Of course.
It's all newness. It's all transformation. It's all clarity.
Transparency,
it is. And when I
absolutely.
think of a blue water road, I also think of a river, because to me, that's what a blue water road is.
Yeah, facts.
And a river just flows no matter what. The river never stops flowing for anything or anyone. So it's just consistent flow and it's moving like water, and that was a great definition. So
Thank you so much. We need some blue water roads in this country. Have you seen our rivers?
they're
green,
little
darling.
gray
They're ugly, bro.
green water road.
Green, listen, it's all right. You can cuss it because it's green and
Yeah,
murky
you
and
know,
disgusting.
I was like by one earlier and I was like, I love you, river. And then I was like, this looks nasty.
Absolutely.
And my friend was like, don't touch it. You might turn into a sea creature or
sea
something.
monster.
Sea
More
monster.
likely. We don't know what's living in
But you know
Jess's.
what though? On the flip side, in California, a lot of our rivers are dried up.
Oh, really?
So, you know, we're going through a really, really crazy drought right now. So I really can't say anywhere is worse than the other. Like, I think we
100.
all need some blue water roads.
But
at
can
this
you
point.
see when I say that you need to talk to my government and I need to talk to yours?
Yeah, I'm going to march up there.
Thank you.
In
Before you
some
get on that
crazy
flight,
pants.
please.
There we go.
Thank you very
Whatever
much.
that guy's name that she said earlier, that
Boris
guy.
Johnson.
Boris fucking Johnson.
Make me upset. All right, so how about some features on Blue Water Road? What can we expect? If you're allowed to
I
say.
have some cool features.
Okay.
I'm not going to say who.
Okay.
But I will say that this is probably the most features I've had on a project. My first album had no features. I had maybe 2 on the one after that, and maybe 3 or 2 on the last one. Even then, it had some like more funny interludes with people than I did necessarily features. But this one has like very intentional, very cool features. I even have somebody that's like playing an instrument and they're the feature, but like their voice isn't on it, but they're playing an instrument.
How about them producers?
I mean, it's executive produced by Pop Onzel, so every song was pretty much majority produced by him. And then if somebody else brought something in, he would finish it. But yeah, feature-wise, it's very cool to me. It's very, very cool to me. Like, I think the coolest feature on my last album, I couldn't believe James Blake wanted to be on a song with me.
I know, huge.
That literally, like, blew my... When he knew I existed, I was like, I thought I was going to have to beg you for this. I was not prepared for you to just make it that easy and say, okay, I was coming here like, okay, but I really have this song and, like, you're my favorite and, like, try maybe listen to this song that I made one time when I was 18 years old. Like, you might like it. Maybe you heard of me. But this one, it was like everybody was so down, just like he was, and everybody, like, blew my mind and came back with really incredible art. So,
By the way, you're Kehlani. Everybody knows who you are.
you know,
Fam, do you know what? Just pop your collar just one time.
I'll dust it. I'll dust it. I'll dust
one
it.
time. Can you see? You're actually Kehlani. Incredible stuff. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having
you
me. I
are
appreciate
incredible. And thank you as well for even coming on the day before you fly out. Very cute.
Of
very cool.
course.
So, Kehlani, before we go, there's something that we ask everybody to do. We have asked it of Beanie Man. We've asked it of Mahalia. We've asked it of everybody. All you have to say is, who we be?
Who we be? Yeah.
Incredible. Thank you so much.
That's
darling.
so beautiful. Woo, woo.